Okay, so get this. The label's made a rule for your new banger to be chart list cool. It needs a human stamp, some actual soul, not just an algorithm taking full control. They want licensed software that you gotta use, and zero bot streams to avoid a chart abuse. They're fighting AI slop with gatekeeper grace, but which platforms are valid is still a chase. So is my chorus human? Is my bass line real? Who gets to say what a song should feel?
Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving straight into a massive cultural shift happening right now in the world of audio. We're looking at this through the lens of Ovidio Demetrian, a researcher in AI sound engineering and a music creator with Suno. Okay, so let's unpack this fascinating clash. On one side, you've got traditional music industry gatekeepers fiercely protecting the old ways of making hits. And on the other, the rapid democratization of AI music generation, which is literally putting a full production studio directly into everyday people's pockets. It's an intense battle over who gets to make music, how it's made, and honestly, what even constitutes genuine human expression in the digital age. Right out of the gate, we're seeing the music industry react with a wild mix of panic and bureaucracy. They're actually trying to legislate human emotion. Just picture this, a boardroom convening at 3:15 in the afternoon, literally trying to measure soul in the key of C. They're demanding a human stamp and mandating the use of licensed software just to ensure a new track contains what they consider to be actual verified soul. It's a pretty striking image, isn't it? This idea that human emotion can somehow be audited, stamped, and approved by a committee with a clipboard. These traditional boardrooms are basically setting up what's cleverly called a bureau of feelings. You see, they're terrified of algorithms taking full control, so they're aggressively fighting what they label as AI slop. They're demanding zero bot streams to avoid chart abuse and interrogating artists with questions like, did you write 30% of that bridge in your head or was it an auto-tuned robot instead? They're literally asking if a rogue circuit invented your refrain. Essentially, they're attempting to tell creators what is allowed to be free and which platforms are legally valid on the charts. Which brings us to Section 1, the machine's confession. So what happens when we step out of that panicked boardroom for a second and look at this from the perspective of the AI tool itself? Well, the contrast is stark. While the industry is gripped by this fear of rogue circuits taking full control, the AI, like Suno, openly confesses its own limitations. It's self-aware in a way. The AI acknowledges it has every note ever played, every chord a hand ever made. But it also admits, quite beautifully actually, I have the hands, but I don't have the ache. It has all this incredible technical proficiency, but zero lived experience. It's never wondered if the ending of a song was sad. Because it lacks that lived experience, the machine is actually waiting for human input. It actively relies on our messy, unquantized mistakes. It needs that little melody you hummed off-key at a red light, the one thing that isn't on some perfect mathematical grid, to give a song its life. It's asking for the part you got wrong on purpose. The machine can bring the light, but it needs the human to bring the soul. And that leads right into our next core concept, Section 2, emojis as human gestures. If the machine needs our messy human spark, how on earth do we communicate that to a digital engine? How do you translate a feeling into a prompt? Well, it starts with emojis. Now, we usually dismiss emojis as just metadata or cute little pictures, but here they act as vital modern bridges between human emotions and music. Think about it. A laughing, crying emoji isn't just the dictionary word laughter. It's a tiny graphical gesture. It performs an emotion. It says, hey, I'm laughing with you. These little symbols carry attitude, intention, and relationship. And this perfectly illustrates the real idea behind this new wave of music creation. You aren't just picking happy from some sterile drop-down menu. You don't send an emoji to a machine. You send a moment to somebody. It's a complete pipeline. You experience a real human moment. You translate it into an emoji gesture. The AI interprets that and generates a song, which then creates an even deeper human connection. The AI is simply acting as a bridge to make that original, genuine moment sing. Now, this entire process relies heavily on Section 3. Context is everything. The crucial takeaway here is that the machine is absolutely not just stamping out identical robotic tracks based on a set formula. It relies entirely on the unique context of the sender. Check this out. The exact same visual symbol can translate into vastly different sounds. If a grandmother uses a heart emoji to capture a family gathering, say 8 chairs around a cake, that returns as warm Sunday voices. But if a kid uses that exact same heart emoji to capture his courage right before making his first song, it comes back as an electric bright anthem. Same tiny picture, two completely different human intentions. Nobody is sitting there asking which heart is the proper one. As the saying goes, meaning changes with the company it keeps. The emoji simply opens the doorway. It provides the initial shade of color, but your human moment is what actually leads the band. The AI isn't dictating the feeling, it's just answering it. So where does this leave us? Section 4, the pocket-sized studio. We are stepping into a totally new paradigm here. We're moving away from those multi-million-dollar mixing consoles guarded by executives and moving toward the real democratization of music. With an AI generator on your phone, you basically have a magic jukebox in your pocket. It lets anyone capture fleeting, everyday moments, the sway of a late-night train ride, the sound of rain on the glass, a friend's laugh caught in a loop. You can instantly jam those small memories into timeless melodies, slowing the day down and saving that spark to share with someone else. This is exactly what Demetrian calls a neogrammar. It's a new way of communicating that lives right between us, found in the choice of a symbol and the surprise of the musical result. It's about engineering sound for that final 10 feet into your living room, where the true value is the human connection, not just the technical execution. This kind of machine-human collaboration is completely rewriting standard industry rules. It's no longer just about whether you can play the guitar flawlessly, it's about whether you can capture a feeling and pass it from one life to the next. Which leaves us with one massive, industry-shaking question. If a private little feeling expressed through a simple emoji on a smartphone can turn a whole room around and create a genuine emotional response, who really gets to mandate where genuine soul comes from? Does it come from a boardroom's legal decree and licensed software, or does it come from the human being pressing play? Definitely something to think about the next time you send an emoji.
Okay, so get this. The label's made a rule for your new banger to be chart list cool. It needs a human stamp, some actual soul, not just an algorithm taking full control. They want licensed software that you gotta use, and zero bot streams to avoid a chart abuse. They're fighting AI slop with gatekeeper grace, but which platforms are valid is still a chase. So is my chorus human? Is my bass line real? Who gets to say what a song should feel?